working on a number 5, and I'm going to make it rainbow stripe for a My Little Pony cake. So stay tuned, and I will show you how that works. Why did I say it like that? It was weird. Just stay tuned. I'll show you what happens. Okay, so what I've done is I've rolled out a bunch of different rainbow colors in fondant. I mixed the fondant, like always, with some Tylose powder. This helps stiffen the fondant. Roll it out about really thin, so like a 1/16 of an inch or whatever. Let it dry for like 10 to 15 minutes so it can get a little firm. So I have this strip cutter, which I will figure out a link to it and put it below. What you do is just press it down against the fondant and pull it apart. And then I take my fingers and rub it in so the lines, so it goes all the way through. Slam it down, and it doesn't always come out. These ones have jagged edges, which I guess is good, so I could show you how I fix them. So that looks disgusting. I don't know if you could tell. So take your fingers and get rid of all the gross. Man, that one's really bad. So you have to smooth it out. All right. These other ones, that didn't happen, so. Okay, I already pre-cut a bunch of different ones. Red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. So now I have some fondant here and this number 5. So I'm laying the 5 down to see about how big of an area I need to cover with these stripes. So I want to cover basically this whole thing with these stripes. So I have my paintbrush, a little bit of water, and well, you know what? I usually just wet the whole thing. Not too much, not too little, just enough to make the fondant stick without like having so much water seep through each piece that you put on there. You want to make sure you just cover the area however big the 5 is going to be. So now, since I'm doing rainbow, we're doing it in rainbow order. So I'm putting down red, making sure that you make it as straight as possible. Orange, and you want the seams to be close together. Just fixing parts of it that don't look perfect as I'm putting them on. So you want the lines to be straight. Whoops. I did all of that. Now I just repeat again, starting with red. I'm using a pink background. It really doesn't matter what color you use since it's all going to be covered by the lines. I usually do white, but I didn't have any white. All right. So now I have my number 5, and I'm just going to cut some of this off so I could see where it ends. I printed this out the size that I wanted to be on the cake. The area on the cake was like 3.5 inches, so I think this is like 3 inches or something. Anyway, all right, so I'm gonna put this down, and I kind of wanted to start, it doesn't matter, like you can see what color it's gonna start. I wanted it to start with red. If it starts with red, it ends with blue. Just figure out where you want it to be. I guess it doesn't have to start with red. Okay, so then needle tool, PME needle tool, my favorite tool ever, and a wet paper towel, which I'm constantly wiping it off. So I'm going to start poking. Don't poke exactly along the line. Poke a little further out. Making sure you don't move the paper, which is a big pain in the ass when you start doing that. I keep wiping the tip of this on the wet paper towel because the fondant starts to stick to it and it starts to drag the paper. All right, take that off, and now you have an outline for the 5 that you want to cut. So I have this X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to start cutting on the inside of those needle marks that I made in the fondant. I keep this here for reference so I can see that there's a little line up and down here that I didn't put in here. So you've got to kind of eyeball it. And also, I don't really drag the knife through as much because like I kind of press down a little bit, because if you drag it, you could start to drag some of the stripes and it could get distorted. So right here, I want to come straight up a little bit and then over. And then I will take my favorite tool. This was in a Wilton flower former set or something. Oh, it's number 4. I never saw that before. And it matches my nails. So there you go. All right. And then I take this and I just press down the little ugly pieces that are sticking up. There's jagged edges here. You can use your fingers to smooth it. This part is really smooth, so a lot of times on the insides I use that to smooth it out. Whatever works for you. And there you go, a rainbow number 5. I've been doing it this way for years. I do numbers, letters. I just find it easier to stick everything to a piece of fondant on the back than to try to just make it out of stripes. There you go. And there we have a pretty rainbow stripe number 5. I hope you like this video. If you want to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.